Welcome back to C4 Cooking. Today I'm here with
Case, and today we're making a Korean ground beef bowl recipe.
trying to stay a little healthy. You want to tell them about the ingredients?
We have olive oil, we have some salt and pepper mix, right? We have some beef broth, we have sesame oil, we have ground ginger, we have crushed red pepper, we have minced garlic, we have sesame seeds that we toasted, we have green pepper, right?
Green onion.
Green onion, my fault. And we
Can
have
you chop that up?
cucumber
That we're going to serve it with, along with some cauliflower rice, but you could also serve it with plain white rice if that's what you had on hand. So to get us started today, Case is going to mix up the sauce that we're going to use when we ground our ground beef. And I think this recipe is a really good comparison to making tacos. So everybody's made tacos, you brown your ground beef, then you put your taco seasoning in water and let it simmer. To get the Korean flavor, we're gonna mix up the sauce, brown our ground beef, then put the sauce in it to let it simmer for a little bit. So it's very simple, something we're very familiar with making. So let's get that sauce made. Oh, and of course, it calls for 1 pound of meat, but we're going to 2 pounds of meat. We gotta double it, we gotta feed all these boys. So remember, everything we're putting in is doubled. So if you're feeding a smaller group, just cut it in half. Okay, Case, so the first thing you need is a tablespoon of the olive oil. And we went ahead and used a garlic flavored olive oil. It called for some minced garlic, so we thought that might add a nice flavor. And we're going with 2 tablespoons of that olive oil. It pours slow so that you can pour it right in your pan when you're mixing it up, so take your time there. So this is actually, if you serve it with the cauliflower rice, it is an all keto recipe. If you add the white rice, you're kind of breaking away from the keto thing. Now, we're not sure how the cauliflower rice is gonna go over with our crew, but we're interested to see. You're adding 1/2 teaspoon of salt, but that's a 1 teaspoon. Case and I were talking, you want that full?
Full?
1 full teaspoon,
Twice.
because we're doubling. About the difference between a teaspoon in a recipe and a tablespoon. And I know Carson covered this last week, but a teaspoon has a small
tea.
and a tablespoon has the
capital T.
Right, now this is our beef broth, and we're gonna add a 1/2 cup, fill it all the way to the top, because that's your liquid. And this recipe also called for coconut aminos, 1/4 cup, and we did not put those in, so we are gonna double up on that beef broth. We're not sure if that'll work as a substitute, but we're hoping. So, I know if you have a little coconut aminos, because you're a big keto person at home, you might want to try adding 1/4 cup of those.
Are we doing sesame oil?
2 teaspoons of sesame oil. Now we were talking about teaspoons and tablespoons before we got started. If it's 2 teaspoons and we need 4, we figured out that 1 tablespoon
Just 1?
is equal to, no, just 1. It's equal to how many teaspoons?
4, right?
4 teaspoons. Okay, and then you were supposed to add 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger, but he got 1/2 teaspoon. So 2/4 is 1/2. Add that in, and I'm gonna grab you a whisk.
So
I think we're gonna need that.
Just 1 of these, right? No.
Yeah, 1 of those. I think that ginger may be what kind of gives it the Asian flavor. And yeah, 1/4 teaspoon of those. Go light on that, because you know, we like it spicy, but Grandma lives with us and her not so much.
True that. Okay.
So this is our sauce. We're gonna whisk this up, and then we will be back in just a minute to brown our meat and put it all together.
So I am using elk meat because that's what we have right now. And also elk meat is leaner than, what else would we be using?
Regular hamburger.
Yeah, regular just hamburger meat. And I have it on medium, and I'm just gonna mix it up or crush it up.
brown the ground beef.
Yeah, and brown it.
That looks good. I love the tool that he's using. You want to hold that up and show everybody at home? This is the Pampered Chef hamburger chopper, and it works great to break up ground meat when you're cooking on the stove. All of my boys have learned, and you can kind of flip it over a little bit.
Like that?
Yeah. Excellent job. Okay, we're back with Case. He's been browning his ground meat. It looks good, Case. You're getting there.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how we minced up the garlic. So we put it in this Pampered Chef tool and put it in there, and then you squeeze. All the garlic comes out. I like to use a knife and just cut it into whatever you're putting it in. Like that.
How many cloves of garlic did you use?
Oh, so we did 8, and I think the recipe called for 4. And so how we are gonna put it in, we're gonna clear a tiny spot on our pan, and then we are just gonna, I guess, pour it in.
And you're mixing the garlic in with the meat, and it'll make a nice aroma, Case, doesn't it? You kind of can
Yeah, it
smell
smells
that garlic start cooking in there with the meat. And once we feel like the meat is all the way brown, we're gonna turn it down to low. It's getting there.
I think it's brown right now.
Okay, so you're gonna lower the temperature and then bring that sauce over that you have
Okay, it's lower.
and leave the meat on the stove. Do you need to whisk it a little bit before you pour it in?
Yeah, maybe we should grab this.
And this is where it's very similar to tacos. So you're gonna pour this sauce over it, and we are gonna let it simmer for about 5 to 7 minutes. That looks great, Case. You wanna give it a good stir around. We can see the sauce in there, that beef broth and the pepper. It's all gonna kind of cook down with the meat. Great job, Case. That looks good.
We're back and we are prepping our garnishes. We have green onion and roasted sesame seeds. I'm gonna chop up these green onions right here, and then we are gonna move on onto our cucumber.
We like using the scissors. It's a safety thing. They're a lot easier than the knives. So anything you can use scissors on in the kitchen, it's a great idea when you're cooking with kids. I can hear your hamburger sizzling, Case.
It smells great and it looks good too.
Okay.
So we're gonna peel our cucumber, and you always want to peel away from yourself so you don't like cut your finger or something like that. We're just using a potato peeler, I guess, is what we use it for most of the time. But in this instance, it's really good for our cucumbers too.
Looks good, Case. Then Case is gonna give a demo of how we slice the cucumber, but we pre-did a lot of it.
Yeah, we already peeled and did that one. Okay, so here we're gonna cut off both ends because those probably don't taste good. And now we're just gonna chop. I kind of like to go more thin than thick on the slices of the cucumber.
That looks great, Case. So then you have your 3 garnishes. You have your cucumber, You're gonna serve on the side, and you have your sesame seeds that you're gonna sprinkle over the meat when you put it on top of the rice. And we have our green onion. You're gonna sprinkle that over the top. I think we're ready to assemble these dishes, Case. What do you think?
I think we're looking pretty good.
Welcome back. Case and I have gotten the rice done. We did decide to put the rice on the stove and tossed it around with a little bit of the bottoms of the green onions and some sesame oil and a little beef broth. So the rice smells great. And we are gonna assemble these so that you can see. Remember, we have a family of 7, so we're dividing this up. And we're gonna put a scoop of the beef on the top, right in the middle. Give me a little more meat on there. You know how your brothers are, your dad. In the middle. And then you're gonna sprinkle on some of the green onion, just a little bit of sesame, and then we're gonna come and we're gonna add some cucumbers.
3 or 4 or 5.
Maybe 4 or 5, yeah, along the side. And that is one dish done. It's looking good. So we're gonna assemble these real quick, get a line going. When you put that hamburger in, Case, I would throw a big old spoonful right in the middle.
Okay.
And then you hit it with some sesame. I got the green onion.
And the plate. Did you get the
Sesame.
Great job.
It looks good. We got all our bowls fixed, and I think it smells good too. So we're ready to eat. It's a wrap.